Bishop was 6 years old and living in Ogden, Utah. Her father abandoned the family. Her mother had a nervous breakdown, and Kathleen and her brothers and sisters were separated into foster homes. Life was not good, and it got even worse when the family ended up in Aliso Village, a ghetto bordering East Los Angeles. In this book, A White Face Painted Brown, Bishop attempts to describe what it's like to live in an area where the residents are continually surrounded by murder and rape and theft. And Kathleen Bishop joins me this morning. Welcome.
Thank you.
How long did you live in Aliso Village?
I lived there for 11 years.
To the best of your ability, can you paint a picture of what it was like to live in the village?
Yes, let me give one example. When I was about 9 years old, I was coming home from school and I heard a black woman, a pregnant black woman, screaming, and I ran into her apartment and an ambulance was called, and it takes 2.5 hours for an ambulance to get to Aliso Village, and she died in the process in front of her 2-year-old son because of the amount of time. So that's
You say that predominantly the residents in the community were African Americans and Latinos.
Yes.
What was it like for a white person to live there?
When I first came there, like most white people, I had lived among my own race, so I felt like I was different. But after time had passed, I had formed very close relationships and friendships excuse me, with both blacks and Hispanics. And I no longer saw them as different, but felt that they were the same because I saw them from a different perspective.
Did you ever find yourself denying the fact you were white?
I did after a while because I was very angry that I felt abandoned by my own relatives.
Well, you had been betrayed, and abandoned by what, your grandmother and grandfather and your father?
That's right. And so I felt that I had been rejected by them, and I felt that I wanted to belong somewhere, as all children need to belong. So I internalized black and Hispanic cultures because I was a child and I did what children normally do.
So if you develop these deep relationships, and you say they were very close relationships,
yes.
Once you finally got out of the village, have you maintained those relationships?
I wasn't able to because I had to make a choice when I got older. You either stay in a housing project and you become a part of gangs and violence, or you have to leave and leave it behind because you will be destroyed by it if you stay.
And what you kind of say, what saved you is that you were not born into the housing projects. You had known other type of life, and it got you out of it, where other people, there's no way.
Well, because when you're born into something, you develop the impression that that's the entire world. My friends thought Aliso Village was the entire world. I did not. My experiences taught me to realize that Aliso Village was not the entire world.
What do you hope to achieve by writing this book?
I hope to educate America to understand the process that takes place when ghetto children become what they become. And by understanding the process, we can arrive at some real solutions to changing these problems.
And as briefly as you can be, the process is?
The process is all the experiences that shape them and shape their perception of themselves and the world, to change that. And
if in fact their whole world is Aliso Village, all they do see is often the sordid side of life.
Right.
And what do you mean by A White Face Painted Brown, the title of the book?
I mean that I was a person who internalized and became very intimately involved with the Hispanic and black cultures, and I really lost track of who I really was as being a white person, and I at the same time learned to cross over cultural boundaries that most white people never get the opportunity to cross over.
Here's the phone number if you'd like to get a copy of this book, area code 707-427-3950, the Palace Athena Press, for the book A White Face Painted Brown. Thank you, Kathleen.
Thank
Time
you.
now, 8:53.